The most terrifying thing about what happened to Daniel Harper is not the gunshot. It's the fact that, for most of that morning, he felt completely safe. On April 17, 2021, Daniel woke up just before 7 a.m. in his hillside home overlooking Westlake Hills, convinced that danger was something that happened to other people. People who took risks. People who trusted the wrong systems. People who didn't plan. Daniel was 43 years old, a successful tech entrepreneur who believed survival was something you engineered, not something you left to chance. He distrusted banks. He distrusted people. He distrusted anything he couldn't verify with his own hands. That philosophy had made him wealthy. It had also made him vulnerable. Hidden behind a false wall in his home office was a reinforced steel safe bolted directly into the foundation. Not decorative. Not symbolic. Functional. Industrial. Inside it sat nearly $2.3 million in cash, bundled, dated, logged, and photographed. Daniel kept spreadsheets on it. Backup spreadsheets. Photos of the photos. He told himself it was about control. In truth, it was about fear. Daniel believed money was safest when it couldn't be taken digitally. When it couldn't vanish because of a glitch, a freeze, or a promise that failed. What he didn't understand, what he would learn far too late, was that money creates gravity. And gravity attracts attention. At 9:12 a.m., Daniel poured coffee and opened his laptop. At 9:26 a.m., his phone buzzed with a missed call from an unknown number. He ignored it. At 9:41 a.m., he stood in front of the false wall, fingers resting on the safe's cold dial. He hesitated. That alone was unusual. The house was quiet, too quiet. No birds. No wind. Even the hum of the refrigerator felt distant, like it was happening in another building. Daniel told himself he was imagining things. He always did. At 9:47 a.m., he opened the safe. The door swung outward with its familiar weight. The cash sat exactly where it should have been. Still, Daniel felt uneasy. He stared at the stacks longer than usual, his chest tight, a sensation he couldn't explain. For a brief moment, he had the irrational thought that someone else had been standing there earlier, watching. At 10:03 a.m., he locked the safe and stepped away. 2 minutes later, at 10:05 a.m., a dark sedan rolled slowly onto the gravel road below his property. The woman driving it had memorized his schedule. Her name was Rebecca Lane. Rebecca was 38. Well-spoken, patient, and carrying a resentment that had fermented for months. She and Daniel had been together for nearly 3 years. She had lived in that house, memorized its blind spots, learned its rhythms. She knew which windows reflected sunlight and which stayed dark. She knew how long it took Daniel to check the safe. And she knew exactly where he stood when he did. The breakup had been quiet. No yelling. No accusations. No tears. Just one sentence that shattered everything she believed she was owed. "I don't feel safe around how angry you get." Rebecca smiled when he said it. Not because she agreed. Because she had already decided he was wrong. She parked beneath a stand of oak trees and waited, heart steady, hands relaxed. This was supposed to be simple. At 10:17 a.m., Daniel stepped onto his back patio, phone in hand. Sunlight carved sharp lines across the stone floor. The city below looked peaceful. Oblivious. He didn't see the car. He didn't hear the door open. He didn't hear the safety disengage. What he heard, what interrupted death itself, was a voice. A shout. A single word that shattered the calm. "Daniel." It came from behind him. Too close. Too urgent. Daniel turned instinctively. The gunshot cracked through the air less than half a second later. The bullet passed through the space where his head had been. Instead, it exploded through a glass panel behind him, sending fragments screaming across the patio like shrapnel. Daniel dropped instantly. The world collapsed into noise and pressure. His ears rang violently. His lungs seized. His hands shook so badly he couldn't crawl. Across the yard, Rebecca froze. This wasn't part of the plan. She hadn't expected the shout. She hadn't expected him to turn. And she hadn't expected witnesses. Because 2 houses uphill, Michael Torres, a 61-year-old retired schoolteacher and former Army medic, had been watering his garden. Michael noticed things. He noticed the unfamiliar car. The way it idled too long. The stillness of the woman inside. And then he saw the gun. Michael didn't think. He shouted Daniel's name because he remembered it from a neighborhood barbecue years earlier. That single reflexive act changed everything. Rebecca tried to fire again. Her hands shook. Daniel dragged himself behind a stone planter, his thoughts spiraling into a single terrifying realization. She knows about the safe. Michael was already on the phone. Shots fired, he said, voice calm. West Lake Hills. I can see the shooter. Rebecca looked around. Neighbors were emerging. Phones were out. Control was gone. She dropped the gun. Not out of remorse. Out of strategy. Police arrived in under 4 minutes. They found Rebecca sitting on the curb, hands folded neatly in her lap, expression blank. She didn't resist. Inside Daniel's home, officers documented the safe. The cash. The obsessive logs. Detectives later uncovered months of planning, draft messages never sent, internet searches about bullet trajectories, and a handwritten note recovered from Rebecca's car. If he won't give it to me, I'll take it. Daniel survived. But survival didn't mean peace. For weeks afterward, he slept with the lights on. Every sound felt like a warning. Every shadow felt intentional. He sold the house. Shut down the company. Moved his money into banks he once despised. Because now he understood something he never had before. You can lock money away. But danger doesn't need permission to enter. And sometimes, just sometimes, survival comes down to a stranger who decided to shout instead of look away. If this story made you pause, if it sent a chill through you, if it reminded you how fragile safety really is, subscribe now for more true crime survival stories, where ordinary moments turn terrifying. Because the next one might feel even closer to home.